Good morning, world. Welcome to World Collective Media, where voices from around the globe come together to uncover the stories shaping our world. This is more than headlines, this is perspective. From politics and culture to faith, technology, and social movement. We bring you to conversations that matter, the stories behind the stories. In a world flooded with information, our mission is simple: connect the dots, challenge the narrative, and give the people a platform. Here, every voice counts on FireTube TV Studios. Every perspective matters, and every story has the power to change how we see the world. So, whatever you're tuning in from, welcome to the conversation. This is a World Collective Media. I'm your host, Chosen, and let's get into some of the hot topics around the world. This is a Women's National Women's Day and also Women's History Month. Diving right in to some of the news around the world involving women. Thank you guys for tuning in. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this live. This is news that you can use. So, guys, hearing your social media, women entrepreneurs, boom. The women, they're out there doing their thing. TikTok and Instagram creators are highlighting women owned small businesses. They are making, baking, and taking that bread. Many focus on financial independence, boss woman culture, breaking corporate ceiling. These women said they're not playing. We're out here reaching new heights. There's a debate over soft line culture, though. The soft line movement is trending. Women online are saying they want less stress, financially supportive partners, more self-care. Guys, what are you doing? These women are going to get it somehow, one way or the other. Critics argue it promotes dependence instead of empowerment. What do you guys think? Is this promoting independence or empowerment? Is it okay for a woman to be independent and empowered at the same time being nurtured and caring to her family? Think about it. This is going on in social media today, and this is what women are demanding. So they're leaving corporate to come here to the collective media world. Stay-at-home girlfriend trend. A viral trend shows women choosing to stay at home while their partners work. Supporters say it's freedom of choice. Critics say it reverses decades of feminist progress. It said we fought hard for the right to get out here and be free. Now you want to put us back in the home? Well, it's okay because they want to be stay-at-home girlfriends. What do you guys think about that? Do you think women should have that choice, or no? Should it be a requirement for them, or should we alleviate women in the workplace? We'll see what happens when that happens. Women leaving corporate jobs. They are leaving. They're trying to let their hair down, trying to relax. It's a movement called micro retirement. It's spreading among women entrepreneurs online. Micro retirement. Women are leaving traditional jobs to start online coaching, digital businesses, social media brands. And we have one right here. World Collective Media is hosted by a woman. So we are making a comeback some way or the other. Congratulations to all those women who are out there obtaining financial freedom. Debate over beauty standards. This should be a good one. Women on social media are challenging cosmetic surgery culture, unrealistic beauty filters, influencer body standards. Is this having an impact on our youth? Is this having an impact on the world today? The boom in butt lifts, the boom in Botox, the boom in butt injections. What is this butt fascination? Is this promoting, again, freedom, independence, or is it damaging our culture? Go ahead and tap your comments in the bottom. That's a good thing about this World Collective Media. The audience is also a part of the collective. So go ahead and type the comments what you think about some of these topics. Many say it's damaging a young girl's mental health, turning them into unrealistic beauty standards, and doing some of the most extreme measures to conform to those beauty standards. Their body, their choice. Does that only apply with the children, or does that apply with cosmetic surgeries as well? These are good. You have to think about these things because some people may want to. Well, it's already happening. They've already had the right to cut it off if the men wanted to. So the women are saying, "Hey, I have the right to inject and make my body to the perfection I want it." So what do we think about this? Should body surgery and these surgeries be legal? Should they be paid for by insurance, or should it be covered out of pocket? These are just some of the social media topics regarding women that is hot going across the world, because we do know that we have an epidemic of the baddies USA. I mean, they are taking over. They're in a theater near you, and they're in a club near you. Because if you ain't a baddie, you ain't a body. I mean, I don't know. This is what's going on. So, let's go back on to some of the women history that brings us to maybe why these women are enduring this liberation. So, these are some of the controversial topics for women history that is going on in social media. This makes for a great debate or a panel discussion. Is feminism helping or hurting women today? Are gender roles natural or socially created? Do women face more barriers than men? Should women serve in combat military roles? Is the gender pay gap real or misunderstood? Do social media platforms sexualize women for profit? Are modern dating standards unfair to men? Are women judged more harshly for leadership than men? Is motherhood undervalued in society? Should trans women compete in women's sport? These are some of the major debates that is taking place on social media platforms across the world. So these are the things that the people want to know. This is what the world is thinking about. Also, In Women's History Month, it's about remembering the past and shaping the future. Whether you're a mother, entrepreneur, activist, or student, your voice matters. So, ladies, do you think we should have a man month if there's a Women's History Month? Should we have a man's history? I'm sorry, that's just funny. All righty. Okay. So diving into some history. So this is a time where we're going to highlight the achievements, struggles, and influence of women throughout history, from politics to science, from activism to everyday leadership in families and communities. Women have shaped the world in powerful ways. Today, we're going to talk about the history, the progress, the controversies, and the future of women's empowerment. It was inspired by International Women's Day, which has been celebrated globally since the early 1900s. The observance grew from activism around voting rights, workplace equality, access to education, protection from violence. In 1987, the US Congress officially expanded it into a full month. So it started out as just a day to appreciate women and their contribution to the world. Women who change history. Here are a few women whose impact still shapes the world today. In civil rights, everybody knows about Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks helped spark the Montgomery bus boycott. Angela Davis, an activist and scholar fighting racial and prison justice issues. I'm going to give you a little news that you could use. I'm going to tell you how many activists that we don't know about have been imprisoned for their activity. 1 million political prisoners globally. This group includes human rights activists, protest leaders, journalists, opposition politicians, religious leaders, and dissidents. These people are often jailed for things like organizing protests, criticizing government, advocating for democracy or human rights, exposing corruption. Let me go back to that number again. That number said 1,000,000. 1 million political prisoners globally. So far, Hong Kong, 2,000 political prisoners linked to democracy protests. Cuba, about 1,000 political prisoners after mass protests. Belarus, about 1,100 plus political prisoners after protest crackdowns. Russia, more than 500 political prisoners documented. This is news you've got to hear across the world. It's a collective news from the people. And it's not just your mainstream media news anymore. We're giving you facts, not fiction. Activists, specifically for human rights activists alone, hundreds to thousands are known to be in prison in different countries. For example, at least 130 activists detained in China for rights advocacy. So this is to let you know that if you think you are the only ones that is fighting for your rights and not making it, we're here to let you know what the world knows. And the world says that thousands detained after protests in places like Myanmar and Iran. 1 million. I'm going to give you 10 most famous activists that have been in prison today. So when they ask, you'll know why there's not a lot of activism in the community. Nelson Mandela, anti-apartheid activist in South Africa, imprisoned for 27 years by the apartheid government. Later became the first Black president of South Africa. That is news we've got to hear. This Nelson Mandela was the first Black president of South Africa. Fact check me. This is what it said. His imprisonment became a global symbol of the fight against racism and apartheid. Salute. He spent all those years in prison. Mahatma Gandhi, leader of the Indian independence movement, arrested many times by the British Empire. His philosophy on non-violent resistance inspired movements worldwide. Let's hear that again. His philosophy on non-violent resistance inspired movements across worldwide. Martin Luther King Jr., leader in the U.S. Civil Rights Movement, arrested multiple times for protest, wrote the famous letter from Birmingham jail. Angela Davis, civil rights activist and scholar, arrested 1970 and held in jail for over a year before being acquitted. Her case became a global human rights campaign. Aung San Suu Kyi, pro-democracy activist in Myanmar, spent about 15 years under house arrest. She later became a national political leader. Malcolm X, civil rights activist in the United States, imprisoned in his early life for robbery. During prison, he converted to the teachings of the Nation of Islam and became a powerful voice for Black empowerment. Is this Ramadan still? Shout out to Ramadan. Lech Walesa. This is Poland. Labor activists in Poland arrested during communist rule. He later became the president of Poland. Go and look at this stuff up, guys. Get to know what's going on around the world. If you can't do it, tune in to World Collective Media. We're going to do it for you, okay? Because it's not about just what's happening next to you. We need to be informed of the real news that's happening now. Václav Havel, dissident playwright and activist in Czechoslovakia, jailed multiple times for criticizing the communist government. Later became president after the Velvet Revolution. So it seems that it worked for him because they later became political figures. So it might take for you to go to jail a little bit to come out and be somebody, because these people fought against what society said, and they broke those norms, and they apparently became great influential political figures. Susan B. Anthony, women's suffrage activist in the United States, arrested for illegally voting in 1872. Her activism helped lead to women's voting rights. Next, Nelson Mandela's contemporary activist, Steve Biko, leader of the Black consciousness movement in South Africa, arrested and died in police custody in 1977. His death sparked international outrage. So that is your 10 activists imprisoned. The top 10 activists that were in prison. So let's find out who's in prison now for being an activist and speaking out for social injustices. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this live, please, to 10 of your most beautiful favorite family and friends. You can catch us here for great discussions. You can also catch us here for interviews. You also, if you have an interview, if you have a presentation, if you have some knowledge and information, we are more than just news media coverage. We also are a platform, a studio. This is the Ring of Fire TV studios. Ring of Fire 2. Ring of Fire 2 TV studio. There we go. Okay, so our top 10 that are imprisoned now. Jimmy Lai, pro-democracy media and rights campaigner in Hong Kong, serving a long sentence under national security laws after convictions widely criticized as politically motivated. Ali Abdi, Iranian human and women's rights activist, imprisoned in Iran on multiple charges for writing and protesting against the regime. Daria Ingereva, indigenous rights and climate justice activist, held in Russia in pretrial detention on extremism, terrorism charges for her activism. Daria Egereva, indigenous rights and climate justice activist held in Russia. Oh, it's Russia. Okay. Egereva. That's it. Pre-trial detention on extremism, terrorism charges for her activism. So they're calling this extremism and terrorism. Multiple Iranian protesters and union activists, scores of union, student, and civil protest activists remain detained in Iran amid the crackdown on nationwide protests. Vietnam political prisoners. Over 160 activists, bloggers, and dissenters remain imprisoned in Vietnam simply for exercising basic rights and criticizing the government. So they're being imprisoned for having the freedom of speech, criticizing the government. Shahriar Kabir, Bangladeshi human rights defender, currently detained arbitrarily, according to the UN experts, for his lifelong minority protection activism. Union and protest figures in Iran. Amir Farhadidi, Kiomars Vaezi, Indonesian protest activists on trial. 7 activists in Indonesia remain in detention, facing political motivated incitement charges tied to national protest. It is just a little disturbing, to hear that now, still in 2026, that we still have to fight for these rights and over these injustices. Cuban activists detained for expression. At least 10 Cuban activists were reported jailed for expressing dissent against the government. So that's a little history right there on the activists that are being imprisoned and have been imprisoned for you to have the rights and liberties that you have today. Jumping back into some news around the world globally, we'll go into a little bit of our sports section just to ease that off a little bit because that was a little heavy. All righty. 60 Minutes airs a new investigative report on a device possibly linked to Havana syndrome in Americans. The accumulation of accumulation of 9 years of reporting. So look that up. We'll possibly go into that tomorrow. What exactly is Havana syndrome? This is something new. Again, this is World Collective Media news that we're not getting out of the real news. 2026 Australian Grand Prix. Sunday races takes place. This is the Australian Grand Prix, the first Formula One race of the season with strong global viewership expected. Los Angeles Dodgers spring training. The team plays the Oakland Athletics in Mesa, Arizona on Sunday afternoon. Flight schedule changes reported on March 8th as several Indian carriers adjust operations due to ongoing Gulf airspace disruptions with some delays, cancellations, and reroutes. So be mindful of those flight changes. Some little other noteworthy news. College basketball, Illinois versus Maryland. Men's game tips off Sunday afternoon. That would be starting shortly. Part of ongoing NCAA basketball action. National Association. What is that? NCAA basketball action. Not sure. We'll find out. College tennis. Middle Tennessee hosts Pepperdine and Southern Indiana in scheduled Sunday matches. So college tennis, look out for that. International headlines. The presidential media advisor defended his role amid controversy following an interview. Former presidential candidate Peter Obi officially joined the African Democratic Congress Party. Nigeria's police force appointed a new national public relations officer. Petrol prices climbed, leading to long queues at cheaper fuel stations. Logo state government warned actress Sarah Martins against unauthorized public street cooking. Iranian state TV criticized the women's national football team for not singing the national anthem prior to a match. Do you think we should keep some of these traditions going? That this is an honor to the sports league and that they should go ahead and recite that national anthem, or is that a choice? Several major weekly news and public affairs programs are available today, including CBS's The National Canada, The National. Now, you want to catch your news here on World Collective Media. So we'll skip where you can find other news. Tune in to us every day, anywhere from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can catch us here on the news that you can use with World Collective Media. The 2026 UK Open Darts Tournament concludes on Sunday in Minehead, England. Are we wasting tax dollars' monies by a darts tournament, or is we just have to be creative to keep the stimulation going so that the mankind can have something to do? Because this darts tournament, I imagine that costs money that some of the poor could be using. But anyway, Canada's National Men's Curling Championship 2026 Breer wraps up on March 8th in St. John's, Newfoundland, and Labrador. So, men's curling championship. What exactly is men's curling? I don't want to know right now. We'll find out later. Yeah. So, here's some social media news roundups from today, March 8th, 2026, and in the last couple of days, focusing on trends, platforms, changes, and major discussions from around the internet. Viral TikTok trend, young ho, a phrase and meme that means blowing up on TikTok, driving lots of shares, reactions, and memes across the platform today. Again, this is a viral TikTok trend. You know, young ho. Say it with me. This is a new TikTok trend, guys. Young ho. You know, I don't like it, but it's funny. I don't like it because you know exactly what they're saying. Young ho, a phrase and meme that's blowing up on TikTok, driving lots of shares, reactions, and memes across the platform today. So that's the funny news that you can use. Social media outrage and reactions to college basketball. Fans on X and Instagram are buzzing after UNC's loss to Duke, sparking memes and hot takes. I mean, they will meme anything. So, anything to make the news to make it go viral. Kids and safety policy shift. Parents groups in India calling for social media ban. Under 16. So they're trying to get your children under 16 from being on social media. I don't disagree with that. There is a lot that can happen that parents unfortunately aren't privy to when they're working, doing the dishes and things like that. A split second, social media can be harmful to a young youth or minor unless you are carefully monitoring that social media platform. And even there's not too much monitoring because you can use other people's phones. So some type of face recognition before getting on these social media platforms for the children under 16. Wrapping up in the news today, Indonesia preparing a ban on social media for under 16 as well. Oh, this is so Indonesia is the one that is pushing for this. They're seeing how it affects the children. It says that government says platforms will have to remove all accounts for users under 16 starting March 28th, joining a wave of similar moves globally. So March 28th, they'll have to remove that for those that are 16 and under. We are wrapping this up in our last and final World's Collective Media here on FireTube TV Studios, a production by The Ring of Fire. Influencer and celebrity social buzz. Canadian influencer Nancy Grewal tragically killed. The lifestyle content creator known online was murdered, and her passing is trending across Instagram and other platforms as fans react. Rest in peace to Nancy Grewal. We'll try to figure out what was happening with that later. Dangerous social media trend endures. Teen, a risky fire breathing challenge circulating line led to serious burns in a Pennsylvania teen, raising safety concerns. Guys, stop trying to be cool in the news. You burnt yourself up. Okay? Just some additional recent developments shaping the social media world. Instagram is tightening hashtag use and testing early access badges to reward creators with better feed placement for high quality engagement. Guys, get it together to what you engaging in. Outages on TikTok have been reported in the US due to technical issues in Oracle Cloud infrastructure affecting posting and browsing. Platforms like X, formerly Twitter, are updating policies around revenue sharing and labeling for paid partnership posts. Broader global movement toward children's social media age limits, with Australia already enforcing a ban and several countries considering similar steps. What do you think about that? Are they taking these kids' rights away to find out news and have the right to freedom of press? Or is this going to be beneficial for the news, considering so much around what is going on with us, that guy Epstein or whatever, Epstein Island? So thank you again for tuning in. This has been a great informative session again of World Collective Media. I am your host and your broadcaster, Chosen. We'll see you tomorrow, Monday morning, with more Women's History Month and more news that you can use from the people, by the people across the world. Thank you guys for tuning in to World Collective Media. It's been great. We'll see you.